Took it off. What's going on, people? Hey, now we got it together. We're back here. Now we got a special guest today. Holy Cross High School head football coach, Coach Dick. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about yourself? Thank you for having me tonight.
Hey, no problem. We definitely gonna get this worked out. Definitely
Yes,
gonna
sir.
make this
Yes,
happen.
sir.
It's gonna make this happen without a doubt. So, the thing about it is that we're trying to bring everybody on here so we can see what's going on with the different programs and give opportunity to talk about your program because a lot of people may not know. There's always the certain ones they always throw about. I'm kind of old school. I'm longer than two, so been around for a while, so I know Holy Cross and very familiar with the program, but I know it has changed. I remember with Coach, I know probably gonna say his last name wrong, Bronger.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Coach Braun.
yeah. I remember him and all that kind of stuff like that. So, how long have you been at Holy Cross?
This is year number 5 at Holy Cross for me. This is my third season coming up as head coach. I actually got to inherit the program from Coach Bronger, who has been a lifelong friend of mine, a mentor, and a father figure to me. On top of all that, so it was a pretty special thing for me to be able to, follow after him. So yeah, so I've been here for 5 years. I was wide receivers coach for a year, offensive coordinator for 2, and then inherited the program. Like I said, 3 years ago. So this will be year 3 for me.
So, basically, when you took over, it was like right near COVID, right? Uh,
My first my first year was COVID.
wow.
So yeah, yes sir, yes sir. Coming off of a Final Four team the year prior, and then COVID the following year. It definitely made for a an interesting first year, but we made the best of it. We were regional runner up that year, and so not a lot of complaints. Stressful year. It was one of those years I didn't want to see it in, but at the same time, it had pretty much worn me down. That was a lot of stuff.
Right.
So yes.
So, being that, I mean, thank goodness you was there already 2 years, but being that with the COVID, do you now you feel like you guys? I mean, even though successful, but do you think you guys are now up to speed how you wanted to be?
Yes, I mean, the COVID year, there wasn't. You could only bring in a certain amount of guys at a time, and so to try and implement stuff, we pretty much got about a 2 week, 2.5 week window, and then that was the majority of what we got. After that, I mean, we were scrimmaging games, and then we were on a roll from there. So it was tough trying to bring in. Different system because we had a whole different set of group of guys, and so to try and bring in a new system, it was tough. But the kids here are great. My staff has been fantastic. So it's just one of those things, man. It worked out well in the end, but it was definitely challenging at the beginning for sure.
Right, right. Um, so what class? I mean, what are y'all? 4A. I
We
mean,
are we are Class A. We are the
class A.
smallest class in the state of Kentucky. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Um, so how many? Like how? As far as the numbers game, how many kids you got out? Have on
Uh, Currently, right now, we are sitting at 31. That is freshman through senior, which for a given year for us, we would like to sit more in the 40s, anywhere between 40 to 45. Past couple of years, we've been sitting right around 35, so which are about normal numbers for us. So we definitely would like to up those numbers, but for the amount of kids that we got and the amount of kids in the school, we hold a pretty good population of the school right now currently. So
okay, okay. So class A. So who are some of the some of the headaches or some of the teams you got to look forward to playing and things like that?
uh,
And
on the top of the list, definitely Pikeville. Pikeville plays it about as good as one team can play it. They for a 1A school, they roster anywhere between 70 to 80 normally.
woo,
So and I'm going to be honest, they've been good enough to where I feel like they've could have competed on multiple class levels. Pikeville's been there. Raceland's always a good one. Crittenden County. I mean, even here locally, you got KCD.
Right.
And then, right up the road from us is Bardstown Bethlehem, who is within our district, who has become, one of the top ones as well. So,
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Because, like I said, I know they change and different things like that.
yes, sir.
So, look, back to your team. So, and I know you're not going to divulge too much stuff, but what kind of offense do you run, Coach?
We're spread. A lot of gun, pistol, but we'll get in multiple sets. We got a base set of plays that we have. And then we just, like any other coach, I like to try and keep things simple. So we'll window dress it however we want with multiple sets, just running multiple things, running the same things out of those multiple sets. But I like to get the ball in my kids' hands and let them make the plays. So it's just it's worked for us these past couple of years. I've been blessed with some really great athletes, and this year I don't expect anything less as well. So.
Right. So, and that's the thing about it, like, with the offense, and I like, catering and got the athletes to go ahead and run that because that you're gonna have to have some athletes to run that kind of system. How about defense, Coach?
Defense, we're actually kind of flipping things up this year. We ran a lot of man last year, and for us, as far as our defensive backfield, and for us, we don't have numbers are not on our side. So for us, it was trying to fix things. So this year, kind of going more to a zone look as far as our defense with mixing things up front. We got a good set of guys up front that will help us as far as what we need in our front seven.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big transition for our guys going from what we did last year to what we're doing this year. So, more of a zone style concept as far as what we're doing. But I feel like for us moving forward, that is what our identity is. That's what our players are. So I think it'll fit us well. I'm just, we've been doing 7-on-7s, really trying to practice in on that right now. And so just trying to get ready for the season with that. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about what I've seen so far.
And I was going to ask you, Coach, because that's all you're seeing right now. 7-on-7. Back in the day, you saw a few schools participating in that, but why not take advantage of the situation with this? So, like as far as the 7-on-7, I know it's important. Definitely
Yes, sir.
get the reps and all that kind of stuff. So, are the guys getting it?
Yeah. For us, a lot of teams will do these tournaments and the weekend tournaments, so on and so forth. We have chose not to do that. We have found a group of schools. Like last week, for instance, we were with J-Town, Nelson County, Spencer County, Breckenridge County. Trying to think of who else. And that was pretty much it. Nelson County as well. But we went out with them. More practice out. There was nothing on the line. Mainly for us to just get better. Game by game. Things that if we needed to correct something, we could stop it, correct it right then and there on the field. And then this week, tomorrow night we'll go down to Central, and we'll mix it up with Central, and then Thursday it'll be manual because people are like, whoa, wait a minute, you're messing around with some of the top ones, and I get it, but my thing is, in order for us to finally get up over that hump, I want my kids to see what top tier talent is all about, and I have nothing but respect for what Coach Dantzler does and what Coach Stoner at Manual do, and what how those young men are, and so. For my kids to see that, be able to experience that, and then, for them to kind of figure out, what we can do. I'm just one of those guys that I don't sell out. A lot of these guys I can't say a lot, but there is a good few that will sell out and run stuff that isn't normal. Right. Stuff that we run 7-on-7 is our offense. What you see is what you're going to get during the season.
Right.
So I really wanted to hone in on that stuff, practice that stuff. So, our kids have a really good understanding. So when we go and as we move forward, we are, with us essentially taking practice time away, we're really still practicing at the same time.
That, to be honest, coach, that's a win right there. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Getting them
100%.
exposed to that. Oh man, that's love. I like that.
100%. 100%.
I love that big time.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so, and you know, and that's funny before you talked about, I was going to bring it up because, like I said, I've been talking to some people, and I know it's very, very handy. And I hope every school has an opportunity to play and do that 7-on-7 big time. So, as that's going on, what do you tell the linemen? What do you got them doing?
Well, my linemen, they stay back, and they have their own practices, which helps us out because when we come together, right now we've been coming together Mondays and Wednesdays as the full team. We'll concentrate one of those days on offense, the other one gets concentrated on defense. But when we come back together, we don't really skip a beat. We're able to go right back into stuff. We'll pick back up with our running game. We may touch a little bit on our passing game. We won't focus as much, so we can really dedicate a lot of that to our running. Our linemen have been getting real acquainted with our 5-man sled driving and getting accustomed to that. I got a couple linemen today that asked if we needed any help on Tuesday or Thursday because they were tired of that sled. They didn't want to touch it anymore. They didn't want to touch it anymore. So, but they're working with our two line coaches, Coach Steve Cerati with offensive line, and then Coach Barry Hinkle with our defensive line. So they have their own practices.
Right.
So then when we get back together as a whole, we just pick back up and we just keep rolling.
Is that Coach Serrata used to be at Central?
It is the Coach Cerati that used to be at Central.
Yeah,
It is, yes.
he actually. I'm a male grad. I played in the East and West game. I think he coached our East team.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Coach Serrata.
The man is. I don't know if I've gone anywhere, and everybody's like, "Well, how did that happen?" And I said, sometimes good fortunes fall into your lap, and he had a grandson, and he's got 2 granddaughters that are currently going to school right now here, and
Okay.
he just wanted to be closer to them. His grandson was going to play for us 3 years ago, and then opted not to. But yeah, Coach Cerati, if you know anything about him, he's a man of his word.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, look, I promise you guys I'm going to be there. And so he started with us 3 years ago. He took last season off. He had a lot of family things that he needed to take care of, but we got back together in the off season, and he said, Coach, I'm ready to go if you still want me. And, we never cleaned out his locker. So he's a great man, a worth of knowledge. So I can't be happier to have him on my staff.
Speaking of your staff, tell us about your staff, Coach.
So I got, Coach Steve Cerati. He's coaching my offensive line. Barry Hinkle, Morehead State grad. He's doing my defensive line. Coach Wes McDermott, coach of the college ranks. This is his first high school coaching job. He is on my defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Coach Walter Perry, who coaches my defensive backs and my wide receivers. I've been in it for quite some time. I coached Coach Perry my first year coaching when I was at Fern Creek. So to be able to have, a young man that I coach and then be able to see him grow up and mature and, be a part of different milestones in his life, for me, that's the ultimate thing. And then to have him back has been awesome. Coach Sean Thompson, he coaches my safeties and he coaches my quarterbacks. Sean has been a head coach at Iroquois, a head coach at Fort Knox, has coached at St. X and Mason County, I believe, is where he started. He's coached a lot of other places. Man is just unbelievable amounts of knowledge on that end. And then I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anybody. I believe that is it. So I have a couple of guys that are coming back, I guess, kind of interns. Gavin Fouche, who played receiver for us a couple of years ago, and then Nick Myman, who just recently started as well. Who's helping with our offensive line. Both players played for me. And to have them back in the program means the world to me just because the kid, they're able to relate on some stuff that I may not be able to relate to. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome for me. So, I got multiple years of head coaching experience on my staff. This is probably one of the better staffs I've had. And so extremely blessed and grateful for all of them.
So, Coach, let's dive into the team. Uh,
Yes, sir.
tell us about some of these players that maybe that people don't know about, and on offense and defense.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. We get some coverage, we just don't get a lot. But we got a lot of good guys here. I guess we can start off with our district player of the year, our quarterback Chris Perry. Man threw for almost 1,500, ran for close to 1,000.
Mm.
He was he was the catalyst of our program last year. I'm gonna be honest, the man. If you can see pretty clear on this screen, the gray hairs in my beard are pretty much an attribute to him. Uh, he he likes to make things happen. Sometimes a little bit longer than what I would want, but he is one that he definitely earned all the accolades that he got last year. So I'm hoping, and the way he's been performing right now, we're hoping to have a really good senior season as well. Out at wide receiver, that's going to be our big question mark. We return one, and that's Joey Fouche. He led our team in reception last year, actually almost double the guy that was next to him.
Okay.
But Joey Fouche was huge for us. He'll be huge for us again this year. Joey's a two-way starter. Joey starts at wide receiver or outside, and then he also starts at free safety for us.
Okay.
On offense, when it comes to our running backs, it's going to be running back committee. We got a bunch of guys that are going to play into it. Tyler Ballard will be a guy that will get early carries. He's also our starting middle linebacker as well. Led the team in tackles. Is probably one of the nastiest players I've had the privilege of coaching. I mean, the kid is just very hard nosed.
Right.
Other guys we got back there, we got Aiden DeWeese, who's a sophomore coming up. Peyton McVeigh is a sophomore. Jace Hardesty, a junior. So we got a bunch of guys that are vying for spots. And then we got, incoming freshman Jamari Pennebaker that is, we're expecting, every guy on this team, I tell them, if you can play and you're ready, you're going to get a shot. So, other guys at receiver outside of Joey Fouche, Maddox Pence will be a key for us. Logan McClellan will be a key for us. Jackson Ruscio will be a key for us. We got a bunch of guys that are going to be key. The biggest key for us are going to be the five guys up front,
Right.
led by our center Dylan Jacobs, who has put in an unbelievable amount of work during the offseason. He is the guy. I asked some of these guys, to step up in leadership roles, and with our offensive line being different and them making different calls, he has really had to take on a lot, and just to see the maturity and the growth in him has been incredible. I mean, the man is 16 years old. He is leg pressing well over 1,000 pounds. I mean, he's an animal. He is an animal, and so we're expecting good, big things from him. But next to him on either side, you got Lucas Emberton, who's a senior coming back, and then Caleb Phillips is next to him. On the outside, our tackles is the one spot we're still trying to work on right now. We got guys, Evan Blanford, a transfer from Fairdale, who will play in the mix. On the other side, you got Jacob Brown, a returning junior. Guys like Nate Rickert, Cooper Render. We got guys up front. Tyler Horning, Cam Henderson Reed, those are all guys that are all vying for spots up front. But we have a very, very solid nucleus up front. And the best part about it is after this season, we only lose one guy to graduation. So
Okay.
a lot of those guys will be coming back. Defensively, those same guys I just talked about, offensive line-wise, defensive line is going to be the exact same with Dylan Jacobs, Tyler Horning. Those guys in the middle, Caleb Phillips on the edge with Luke McCubbins on the other edge. Who was actually Luke McCubbins was number 2 in the state in 1A in sacks. He was number 6 or 7 overall in the entire state through all classes.
Wow.
He'll be a senior returning. We expect big things from him. Tyler Ballard in the middle. Tyler Ballard was right behind Luke in sacks. Just got a motor that doesn't stop. He is a high energy guy. He gives it to you every rep. So you have Aiden DeWeese at linebacker. um, Jackson Ruscio at a nickel style, and then our corners. You'll have we had one corner, one guy Keith Hadley is a sophomore, flipped his bike during the dead period, separated his clavicle
Oh,
completely, and so it is. We don't know if and when he's going to be able to come back. So
right,
right now, we have a couple guys that are vying for that spot. Maddox Pence. Um, we have a couple on the other side. Will be Jace Hardesty, and then our guys in the back. We talked about Joey Fouche coming off last year, 3 interceptions last year. The guy next to him, Logan McClellan, who's our strong. We're expecting. I mean, Logan was on a tearing pace before he pretty much just tore everything in his ankle about 3 games in.
wow,
So, he is completely healed back. The kid put in some unbelievable work in the offseason to get back to where he's at. Great kid, high motor. He works hard. I mean, he had 3 interceptions in probably like 3 games. I mean, he was really starting to churn out, and unfortunately, the injury kind of slowed him down. But we got we're a team to where anyone can play at any given point. These guys know that they have to be ready. So for them to pay attention and watch and learn is huge. And like I tell them, if they are ready and they want it, I'm going to find a spot somewhere for them
right.
to get on the field. So
And
I'm
that's one
excited.
thing. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you, Coach. I mean, as far as depth, you know what I'm saying? How do you go and build that? I mean, I know a lot of these players are probably going both ways, as you're saying. Uh,
Yes, sir.
and I know, but personally, that's an opportunity for some of those guys to earn the
Yep.
trust and everything like that. But I mean, once you out on the field with equipment, that's a little bit different. And also,
Yes, sir.
how do you go about that? Because I see that you got pretty much the policy. If you're ready, you can play.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to get yourself ready.
Conditioning is huge. Conditioning for us, probably the first half of the season won us the majority of the games. We were just able to outlast. We condition. I tell them all the time, if we choose not to condition, then we are choosing to lose on a daily basis just because we have so many guys that can flip flop. And I'm going to be honest, my coaching staff is very smart on how we sub, how we do stuff. So, I mean, we're very on top of watching these kids, their body language, seeing how they are, because a regular rotation to where, a kid that we value on offense can get a break, on a defense and then be able to, get back in.
Right.
My staff does an unbelievable job of making sure that we are rotating as much as possible. And, so far, knock on wood, it is not, we have been to the point to where, it hasn't been an issue, but we take great pride in our conditioning. If we did not condition the way we do, it would make things really tough. But these kids really buy into it, and they know what the outcome is. If they don't, then they're choosing not to do what they need to do in order to get on the field. So
Right. Right. And I know you said earlier about the running back position. Back committee, I guess. Is that what you want? Or do you prefer
no,
that, coach, or do you want that somebody to be like, hey, this is mine?
yeah, it's tough because if I left it up to them, I know Tyler Ballard would say I want it to be mine. It's really tough when Tyler Ballard is going to keep flip flopping back and forth from
Right.
middle linebacker coming over and running the ball. So, and then if you go down the list, his partner right beside him is Aiden DeWeese. Aiden DeWeese is a guy that is also in there. So and then if you dip again, you got Jace Hardesty, who is now out at cornerback for us. So we have guys. It's going to be hard for me to say you're going to be the guy,
Right.
um,
Right.
just because of where they're playing on defense. So it is going to be one of those to where Tyler may start it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Aiden may come in, and then they may get a couple a couple doses of Jace, and then just kind of to see, because they each bring something different to the table. To be honest with you, they each have their own skill sets and what they do well, and so you know we have guys, we'll use a lot of two back set with Roland Royce and Luke McCubbins as our H backs, as well as our H is what we call our fullback. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll run some two back sets, to kind of give some other guys breaks. We're just very smart on how we do certain things in order
Yeah.
to maximize the absolute most out of our players. So,
Right.
um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I left it up to them, I know that each of them would be like, "Wow, I can be the guy. I
Right.
can be
Right.
the guy."
Right.
They
Right.
could, but it's just one of those. You sacrifice so much by letting one guy just continuously go with it the entire time. So just being able to keep a healthy rotation, because we're coming into the season and
Yeah.
none of these guys have really any significant yards and or touchdowns for the most part. And so, um, those scrimmages and stuff leading up, it's going to be a real eye opener to see who really tries to set themselves apart. And I know that they love competing with one another on a daily basis. I also coach running backs as well, so to see the competition that they have, it's just one where they push each other on a daily. So
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing about it. You explain it well because, like I said, most of these guys, these players are going both ways, so you can't overuse them and all that kind of stuff. That's definitely. I want to ask you, Coach, uh, about the Holy Cross family, the support. What kind of support do you guys getting on that Friday night and throughout the season? The community, how's the community embrace Holy Cross?
I'm going to be real honest. The one thing that drew me to this place is the community. The community is a monster part of what Holy Cross is all about. Back in 19, and if I'm wrong and these alumni are watching, I apologize. 1984, 1985 was the first year that it used to be Bishop David and Angela Marisi. Angela Marisi was all girls, Bishop David all boys.
Right.
And if you knew anything about Bishop David, they were some bad, bad men. They were the talk. You knew when you played Bishop David, win, lose, or draw, you knew that you played Bishop David. They were some bad guys. And so they ended up combining the 85 year, I believe, and 84, 85, and into Holy Cross. Holy Cross is the only Catholic co-ed school in the city of Louisville. So, but on a Friday night, I'm just going to be honest, my AD, he's got a tough job because these people are waiting to come in. They start tailgating over on the side parking lot, and it's a happening here for a 1A school. I don't know if I've ever been to a small crowd game. They pack the stands. That's the one thing I love, that these alumni come out.
Right.
They are all about these kids, and and that's the one thing that I always tell them, that they are a part of a legacy, whether they believe it or not. If they go out on a Friday night and they just stop for a second, look around, the parking lot's filled. You got people throwing. It's almost like a small college experience, throwing cornhole,
Tailgate.
fire pits. I mean, the tailgate, the whole thing, and then they all move into the game. It's a special experience here, and it's one that you don't really understand until you come and you're a part of it. And as a coach, there's no better feeling on a Friday night, going out and just seeing everybody coming in. Especially the alumni nights where you get to go and meet some of the alums. It's an awesome thing, and then be able to, our biggest thing is we want to honor them as much as possible. And those Bishop David teams and the early Holy Cross teams, they were some teams to be reckoned with, and so we want to make sure that we're doing everyone proud, not just the Holy Cross community, but Bishop David, Angela Marisi, all the way through. So it's a special place, and it's one that it rivals some of the best, I feel like. So it's one of those. You got to almost experience it to see it, but it's an awesome place here on Friday night. Fans are awesome, so it's very special here.
So, and you hit on my next question was going to be about the alumni. You know, being that you was here 2 years, before, and then coach, became the head coach. How was that? How has the alumni embraced that? I mean, I know you said they going into games and things like that. Was it an easy fixture because you was here before, or how did that work out and pan out? Now, it seems that it's going well, but at the beginning,
I'm going to be honest. Following with Coach Bronger, and Coach Bronger was so highly respected. To get Coach Bronger's seal of approval, and let him letting those guys know that, guys, look, we're in good hands. I promise you. Him putting his seal of approval on me, for some of the guys that really don't know me and haven't got the opportunity to meet me. That pays off huge, because he is a well-respected man within the Bishop David and the Holy Cross community, both because, he played for Bishop David, coached at Bishop David,
Right.
and then came back and he had 2 different stints at Holy Cross. And, what's funny is, I had parents, and he's like, I remember I used to babysit her, and I babysitted her. And, these are all parents that are coming back, helping us out. And so, but they, they've been awesome. Like we're in the midst of getting ready to host our golf scramble, and just the amount of support that these guys just want to see, because they want to see this school do well, the football team do well. It's it almost takes you back. But I got parents that that work their butts off, all alumni as well. It's just it's an unbelievable place, and it's one that it makes it just makes my job. It doesn't even make it a job. It just makes it something that I love to do. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome just to see, because you don't get to go a lot of places where the alumni are so involved and so invested, and they are here.
Let me ask you, well, Coach, since you brought that up, talk about the fundraiser.
Well, we are no different. People think that just because I'm a Catholic school that we just have money just falling out, and that's not the case. I fundraise for everything. Now, I am blessed with a great set of parents that helped me tremendously throughout that process. But this season alone, we had a lot of concussions and stuff last year. So, we did some research, got brand new helmets. Not only do we going to get brand new helmets, we were trying to get brand new jerseys as well. So, going into this season, we were looking at close to almost in the ballpark about $37,000 worth of fundraising that we were doing. So I mean, on top of those, we make sure I got to pay for travel, pregame meals. I had, my huddle, my memberships to my coaches associations.
Right.
So I have, and I don't just, they don't just say, well, you're a Catholic school, here's a $20,000 check. It doesn't work like that here. So, so we do volleyball courts. We do, we're doing the golf scramble. We do whatever we can get our hands into in order to meet our quota for the year. So, I'm no different. I know people, they automatically think that because you are in a Catholic school that they're just handing you money, all the time. And, we are, Holy Cross is a lot of blue collar workers. And, so I try not to pry on my parents. I want to make sure that whatever we're doing, they're paying for their child's education.
Right.
So I'm trying to do what I can so I don't have to keep asking, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I need this donation here. So try to do stuff. And like I said, I got a great group of parents that help me out when it comes to fundraising time. So extremely blessed on that end.
Right. Everything is not a fish fry. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Catholic myself. So
yes, sir.
I understand, so please, hey, fundraising
yes, sir.
needed. So I definitely understand what you're talking about big time with that. Coach, let's dive into you, Coach. Let's get a little bit about your background. So before we get to the coaching and stuff like that, how old were you when you started playing sports? And what sports did you play?
I started, man, I think I started at a very young age, probably like 6 or 7, doing flag football. I was a Catholic school kid as well. I went to St. Agnes for my first half of my schooling, probably till about 6th grade. 7th grade year, I transferred to St. Raphael and finished out. Played basketball, played football, played baseball. So, that's where my love of sports came in at that age. Went to St. X. I was a 1999 graduate of St. X. Was a sophomore the year that we won state. I got to be under Coach Mike Glazer, who,
the Hall of Famer.
Oh, yes, sir. And so, um, and it's awesome because he will comment on stuff, and just the little stuff here and there that we get from him means a lot because the guy is so revered in this area and
Right.
around the state period. And so to kind of get his blessing on stuff has been awesome. And so did that. Went to the University of Louisville as a graduate assistant. Worked with the defensive line there under John L. Smith.
Okay.
I got to be around guys like Dwayne White, Kobe Clark, who's actually the head coach. So Michael Josiah there, Bobby LaFew. There was, we had some good,
Yes.
teams there. So it was an awesome experience to be able to be around that on a daily basis. I get to, you get to travel and do all that stuff. It was an awesome experience. And so, my love of the game, even though I knew I wasn't qualified, there's no way I was playing at the next level. You think sometimes, and then reality hits you right in the face. And so, but football was always my thing. I'm going to be honest. Baseball was probably my best sport. It was the sport I absolutely, I hated it the most, but it was my best. It was my best one. My players asked me all the time, and I was like, I swear to you. And they were like, just come back here because I got a bunch that play baseball. Come back.
Right.
It was probably my best. I just and I was just a role player for basketball.
It's so funny, Coach. My mother, she's probably the biggest Marco Will supporter that we have. And when she heard that, and I know she's probably hearing that, and that was like me. I played baseball for about 9 years, and I just got burnt out, and I was like, I'm done. I'm playing football. Until this day, they always say, "Hey, you should have played baseball." And I guess when you see, and I was a good football player, all district, all that kind of stuff like that, had scholarships, offers, and all that. But when you see the 15-year, 440 million that's thrown across the table for Juan Soto, maybe I should have. I don't know.
Yeah. Baseball players get paid crazy. I mean, they can say what they want, but baseball players get paid crazy amounts of money. So
Yeah.
it makes me regret it at times, but it is what it is.
Right,
So,
right. So let me ask you. So, like when you was doing that with John L. At Louisville and everything. So after that, did you just go straight into like high school, or what was your next move?
my first I was once I finished, I was still just kind of working, and then one of my freshman coaches, when I was at St. X, he was the head coach at Fern Creek at the time. Troy Johnson called me, said, "Hey, just wanted to see if you were interested in actually coming back and coaching." And I was like, I mean, I've never coached before. He's like, "Look, I got a guy ready to call a defense. I just need you to be my offensive coordinator, and then be my freshman head coach." And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. And that's what started for me. That was back in 2003. So I'm getting ready to hit year 19 this year. So, I spent 4 years at Fern Creek in multiple positions, from running backs coach, wide receivers coach, offensive coordinator. I did that under 3 separate head coaches at the time. And so I was at Fern Creek for 4. I went to Fairdale for 2 years. I was at Doss for 2 years. Southern 2 different times as an assistant. I was the head coach at Moore for 4 years, and then I kind of took a little hiatus for a little bit. I had a lot of health issues and stuff that I needed to get corrected in my life, and so got those corrected. I never fully left the game. I had a buddy that was the offensive coordinator at Bullitt East, that I would help out on Friday nights. I'd go up in the box, and we ran similar stuff, and I knew what he would look for on stuff. So I did that, and then what's funny is that I came to Holy Cross, Bob Bronger being the head coach at the time, and he was going for his 100th career win. And I just started off. We were following him. He didn't get it in his first game. The second game, vividly remember we were setting up. My wife and my 3 kids, we were setting our stuff up on the track to watch him. And he said, "Well, what are you doing? This is pregame." And I said, "Well, we're setting all of our stuff up." He said, "Well, why don't you come on out of here?" And I was like, "No," I said, "I'm good, man." I said, "We're setting everything up." And so he asked twice and he gave me that look. And I was like, "Yes, sir." So went out, went out there and, what started off as, him getting his 100th win that night, he was like, "Well, how do you feel about maybe just, kind of, coming on Friday nights and just, you can tell us what you think, so on and so forth." And so that started that.
Wow.
The following year, we were actually getting ready to have my 3rd child, and he was like, "Hey, how do you feel about coming on full time?" He had a guy that was calling his offense that also was running a business on the side. And he was, he had told Coach Bronner he was losing too much money that he had to step away. And so it went from me just coaching a position to me, calling offense and coaching a position as well. And so he was like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "You're gonna have my 3rd kid. Like, and he was like, "Well, you just ask her and, you tell me what you think." And I was like, "All right." So my 3rd child was born, and he was like, "Hey, I'm sitting there." It was the day after. I was like, "Just got a quick question." And so asked my wife to get her blessings on that,
Right.
because any coach knows that they are also as good as what is at home. And
Right.
so,
Right.
without her blessing, I wouldn't have been able to do it. But she saw what Holy Cross was about, and she loves this place, and my kids love this place, as much as I do. So, and the rest is history. So here I am.
So, real quick, talk about this past year, Coach.
This past year, we went nine and I'm going to say 9-3. We had one game that, we had a COVID forfeit, but I was under the impression that if you made up the game, that it would erase it. I guess it didn't. So technically, in the books, we were 9-4. We're second in our district. We ran up, against Bethlehem. Bethlehem had a really good team. Bethlehem handled us pretty well both times. There's no other way to put it. And so, but if we really look at it, we were a team of unknowns. I graduated, a ton of talent the year before, and I had guys stepping into roles that, we just didn't know. And so a lot of people had not really picked us to finish really high. And so for us to do what we did, finishing second, and, for us, it eats at you. But as I look at it going back, I mean, we definitely overachieved in a lot of areas, and a lot of guys got a lot of growth. We just had a lot of different moving parts, a lot of guys moving in, starters for the first time. So just a lot of guys trying to get their feet wet and really find their groove on stuff. So, but for what we had and how we did, I was very, very impressed with how we did last year. We're
Right.
hoping to shore up some stuff because we don't like finishing second. We definitely we want to be back up in that top spot again, and so we know what we got ahead of us. And Campbellsville and Fort Knox and Bethlehem again, they all they get better every year, and so
Right.
we got to step ourselves up to where we can compete on a regular basis. So, um, it'll be interesting. It'll be real interesting. But, you know, last year was good for us. Last year was, it proved a lot of things and gave these kids coming back, a lot of momentum.
Right.
So,
Let me ask you, Coach, if it's one thing, if you could change one thing in high school football, what would it be?
oh man, one thing I'd love to change a lot of things. I'm going to be honest. The one thing that I wish that we would do, they harp and we play and we do all this stuff, um, for the RPI system. That the RPI was, you do all this stuff, you play all these teams, and it's supposed to help your RPI, and you got teams that are playing out of state teams that don't get ranked as high, and it drives me insane. And then if you really get down to the nitty gritty on it, you use the RPI for legitimately use it for one round, but technically, I guess you lose it. You use it for two.
Mm.
My thing is that if you work your butt off all year for this RPI, it why not seed the tournament off the RPI? I mean, we work at it all year, we talk about it all year. Why would you not just seed everything according to the RPI? Almost like I can't really say how they. Well, I mean, they do it like the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Like March Madness. I mean,
Right.
you are the what I mean, because in the end, travel is inevitable. You're never going to escape travel, whether it's in 1A, from 1 all the way to 6. You're never going to escape travel. It just
Right.
depends on what round you do it. So my thing is that if we're going to do it like that, scrap it. Let's use this RPI and let's really roll with it. But you're using it for literally the last two rounds of the playoffs. And your regional championship is split up between the East and West, so you pretty much it's the top four and the top four, and then the only time you legitimately use it is the final four, which is 1 versus 4, and then 2 versus 3, whatever the best. So I would love for them to actually use it from top to bottom and just see what happens, but I doubt that'll ever happen because people are always talking about, well, I don't want to travel. I got to travel for this, and you're making this team travel here.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I'm going to be honest. As a coach, I like it. It's pretty cool to be able to go see places and sometimes go see places that you may never see again. You may never get to go again. But some people don't want to do it, and I get that completely as well. But I'm just one of those guys that I like to you get to take in all that stuff, and you may go to a place that you've never heard of, and
Right.
so I guess for me, if there's one thing if I could correct,
Mm.
that would be the one thing that I would like to correct, but
Right.
I don't see it happening, but
Let me ask you, Coach. If I'm a parent and I got a child that's trying to decide where to go to, why? What would you say? Why should my son come to play for you?
right. My thing is that there's going to be no coach that'll work harder to getting them at the next level than myself. I pride myself on the fact that I want these kids, and I feel like my kids have a 4-year experience that is something that they'll be remember for the rest of their life. Win, lose, or draw. I want to see the best for these kids. I'm able to offer something that a lot of places don't. You got a lot of places that are very traditional base as far as a freshman, you're going to come in and play freshman. As a sophomore, you're going to play JV. Sometimes as a junior, you may play JV, and then you got 1 year to really play. Um, my thing is that if you're an athlete and you have something to show and something to prove, and somehow be able to contribute. If that's you, I can find a way for you on the field. So, and I mean, to go along with the athletics, I can't tell you how many 2 to 3, sometimes 4 sport athletes that I carry on my teams as well. So it's one of those to where we do a great job here at Holy Cross of these kids being able to, they move from one sport to the other. Do I wish that I could have them in the off season for lifting and stuff like that? 100%. But for the school and for them to thrive like they do in other sports, to see them excel and do other things, it's a great feeling as a coach to watch them be able to achieve other things in other sports as well. So, and the academics here, I mean, are second to none. I mean, the student to teacher ratio in these classrooms is great. If you're a kid that, you know, sometimes you need that little
Right.
bit of extra, and they're able to give it to you here because the teacher to student ratio is so good in these classrooms. And so, it's a first class education. I feel like we give them a first class athletic experience. We're going under renovations right now so we can compete with everybody else in the Catholic schools as far as our our stadium and everything else. So,
Right.
with everything, so we're going under that right now, and so it's going to be one of those like it's a happening right now. It's so we want you to be a part of this while get in on the ground floor now because as we continue to build and this thing gets this bigger, I just have a feeling that things are going to start to turn our way. There's too many positives that are happening over here for us to not go in that direction. So, like I said, the education, the athletic experience, like I said, my staff, myself, we will exhaust all avenues to make sure if your dream is to go to the next level and play, we're going to make sure we do that. If your dream is to go on and get a job, the internship program here at Holy Cross is second to none, and they can set you up on something to where you're leaving high school and you may have a job leaving right out of high school, making some fairly good money at the same time. So we are setting you up for nothing but success here. It just depends on how you want to do it, whether it's athletically, educational, but it's the total package here. And so, people just forget about us. We're the small school tucked away on Dixie highways that some people feel like it's too far of a drive, but it's a special place. It's a special place. It's one of those that you got to be here to experience it. It's a family feel. People, you're not just a name. You're not just a number. You're not just a check. You're a person here, and so we take great pride. I know my players. These teachers, they know their students. The administration here know these students. They know their families. It's just one of those things that it's a great support net. It's just it's an overall great place to be.
Coach, thank you for giving us this insight. But we always give you this last question.
Yes, sir.
And the question goes like this: if basically, it's not even a question. It's an opportunity for you to go ahead and give thanks and praise to everybody who has helped you get to where you are now.
Well, to start off, I would not be able to do what I do without my support system at home. My wife Bethany, my three girls, Ella, Emerson, and Inslee. They are the biggest supporters of this place. They're the biggest supporters of me. They look forward to football season as much as I do. My family, my extended family. My wife has friends. Her friend Kelly. Her family. They come to these games. It just means a lot. And as a coach, to be able to have the blessing of your wife and your family to do what you're doing, because it is long hours. And it is a year-round job for the most part for me. So, you get a little time off to be with them, solely with them, and I make sure I take advantage of that and I cherish every minute of that. So, to start there, I've had so many great people that have mentored me. Bob Bronger, I talked about. The man is the best. People can say whatever they want, but when it comes down to it, he is one of the best. He's been there for me from the jump. And like I said, he's more than just a coach and a mentor. He's been a father figure to me. He's just the ultimate for me. Jonathan Miller was another guy that working under, being able to learn offense from him. Kunta Farmer. If you've ever been a part of a LaCunta Farmer pregame speech, as a coach, he makes you want to run through a wall for him. He has been awesome. Of course, Troy Johnson for giving me my start in all of this. What's funny, I'm the head coach here, and I still teach at Moore High School. My administration.
I saw that. Yeah.
My administration, Ms. Tracy Hunt, my principal, Donnie Hudson, Demetrius Forney, they have been they've been awesome. They understand stuff when it comes to me, especially during the season. And I can't thank them enough. It is a different situation, but they are very understanding, and they have definitely been. They've been awesome through this entire process. How they, sometimes I'm like, hey, I gotta get out of here for this and that, and they're very understanding, and I appreciate their patience because when it's not your program that you're in, but that is, my teaching is what puts food on the table.
Right,
so I'm doing what I need to. But I'm very appreciative of my
coach. Real quick,
yes.
You know what? And I saw that on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, whoa, like. Do you ever? Let me ask you this before I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to
No,
ask.
no, you're good.
Do you ever like go to the pep rallies? I mean, like, what's?
Well,
I mean,
you want to know what's funny? I'm the MC for the pep rallies. So I am the MC. More has never more's home away from home for me. It's right down the street from me.
right,
Um,
right.
Ever since I started coaching there, I mean, I'll be honest. I went through some tough times once I got let go,
Mm.
and that's a whole separate conversation for a whole different show, I guess. Um, but they have the administration that's been in Rob Folk and now Tracy Hunt has been nothing but great to me as far as how they have done stuff as far as me coaching here. I mean,
Right.
Coach Folk, our Mr. Folk actually wrote a letter of recommendation as well, and so I can't thank them enough. And I do love it there as teaching and stuff like that. But it's funny how God works, and
Right.
where one door closes, one door opens, and I just got fortunate enough that door was here coaching at Holy Cross, and I'm able to still teach and do what I need to do
Right.
as far as my job and more. But very appreciative of all of them. So
Love it.
just kind of going through my parents. Uh, they've been the backbone of everything that I do. They are my dad. My dad has gone through a lot, Parkinson's, and
Mm.
fought through brain tumors, multiple transplants. He's an organ and a kidney transplant recipient.
Mm.
It's just one of those things. The man gives me strength on a daily basis. Just seeing him fight through his battles
Right.
lets me know that the minuscule things that I'm going through in my life are nothing. And just to see how he is, the father that he's been to me, the grandfather he's been to my kids, it's just unwavering. And my mom's the rock. She holds it all down for us in our family, and so um, they are what when I question myself and whether or not I'm doing a good job, they're the ones that I always look forward to. And I mean, my in-laws, I could go on and on.
Right.
Um, but I mean, God has blessed me. I know people say it, and people are like, well, that's so cliche. But for me, God has definitely blessed me. There was times in my life that I didn't know if I was meant to do this. And, people make you question on whether or not you know what you're doing. And, kind of having things happen in 2019, I was fortunate enough. I was state 1A coach of the year, along with being district coach of the year. Um, for me, it wasn't as much about the accolade as it was, I guess, the verification of, hey, you do know what you're doing. You've known what you're doing. You've known what you're doing from the jump. But, I told my staff and I told my kids that this award wasn't about me. I didn't win this award. My staff won this award for working their butts off from the very beginning. And my kids won that award because they were the ones putting their bodies on the line, night in and night out. So, I just, without those people, and if I leave anybody out, I apologize. But, without those people, um, it would just, it'd be one of those that, I don't know where I would be, but they've all shaped me to who I am, and I got a great support of friends and family, my in-laws. It's just one of those things, man. I lead a very blessed life. I count my blessings daily, and so I'm just very happy with where I'm at. And I guess the biggest one, Ken Fouche, the administration here at Holy Cross, for believing in me, for believing in this program, because this program it's a big deal. And so for them believing in me to take this program and continue to lead it in the way that they want it, in the way they see it. And so um, it's been a great experience, and it's one that I don't see myself moving. I see myself taking this thing until the rod bucks me, until either they don't want me, I do a bad job, and they want to fire me, or I can't do it anymore to the level that I feel like it needs to be done, and I need to step aside and let somebody else take over. But it's been an awesome experience, and I can't wait for what the future holds. And I can't be thankful enough for everybody that's surrounded in this program, from the administration. Ms. Danielle Wiegand is our president, Jennifer Bars is our principal, Jody Thornsberry, our assistant principal here. Kim Fouche is my AD. It's a great experience, and it's a great place. And I encourage people that if you haven't heard about Holy Cross, wondering about it, don't worry about the 1A stigmatism that comes with playing in 1A football. I promise you that you want to be seen. I'm going to make sure you're seen. There's many 1A players that are playing Division I football as there is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6A players as well. So it's just one of those things. We provide an experience that's second to none here. I feel like we do a great job of doing that. And so I appreciate you giving me a platform to promote ourselves, because sometimes we don't get it, because you turn on the news and you're definitely going to see your males, you're definitely going to see your St. X's, you're definitely going to see your Trinities, and so sometimes you're not able to get that. You're not able to get that recognition and that, be able to, get yourself seen. But, I appreciate guys like yourself that, reach out and do the whole circle, no matter where you're at, so it's awesome. It's awesome because, you don't always get that same opportunity, but yeah, no, it's a great place. It's a great place for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, thank you. And it's so funny, like how we joked around a little bit. I was definitely gonna interview you. We know we had little problems, and I was definitely gonna let you get your word in, because
Yes,
you hit me on Sunday. You just, hey, and I'm like, he's enthused. I'm match. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you bring, however you bring it, I'm gonna match it. And like, you was really ready to rock and roll. I thought we was gonna do the interview yesterday. That kind of stuff. So I really love it. I really love it. And the thing about it is that definitely we're gonna try to get around and try to go to, like, maybe some practice or games. We can't make everybody's game, but definitely want to come and visit and check you guys out without a doubt, man. And I know they're in great hands, big time. And just want to thank you for really coming on the show and letting everybody know about Holy Cross. I really appreciate that, Coach.
Well, I appreciate you, like I said, just giving us a platform to be able to, show what we got, and kind of, so people can hear what they got. Because sometimes, people, they go off of, well, they're on Dixie Highway.
Right.
I don't want to drive all the way out there. I really don't know anything about them, but but once you get here, it's one of those things you fall in love with. So, it's one of those, just let me get you in the door. Let me let you see all the special things that are going on here, and then make your decision on that. But I appreciate guys like yourself that, give everybody, and especially some of us small schools, the platform to be able to promote ourselves and talk about ourselves, so people understand and people can see what's going on.
Right. Well, Coach, I got to have you back on later on, either after the season, during the season, whatever, now week or whatever you got, just to get an update from you. Really appreciate you joining us. Also, hey, guys, not only this is, we're going to also have this on our podcast. So you can't get on YouTube, you're going to be able to listen to Coach talk about Holy Cross, all the Holy Cross Cougars, all you guys. Lad, thank you for watching us today. Go ahead and subscribe. And hey, Holy Cross got a winner right there. So thank you, Coach.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
All right. Hey, right there. Hey, I'm telling you, right there, Coach. Hey, greatness is coming big time. So, hey, Holy Cross, hey, thank you for letting us know about the program. Tomorrow we're going to have Coach McPeak from Frederick Douglass. So tune in for that one. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks everybody for watching. Great interview. Thank you, Coach. Much love.
It's 8 p.m. Let's get it. and Will, yeah, yeah. Mark and Will, yeah, yeah.
It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know.